there, I'm Jenna, and tomorrow is the biggest swim meet of the year for me, and I'm about to show you exactly what I'm bringing with me to the pool. What I take with me to race day definitely makes a difference because I feel like it makes me feel more prepared and ready to go. I also feel like there's some unexpected things that I bring with me to race, so let's get right into it. This evening I trained, I came home, I had dinner, and I've just showered. I shaved my legs and I also shaved my arms, and now it's time to pack. I like to do it the evening before so I don't have to worry about setting it all up in the morning, and I find that once I've packed my bag once, I kind of get an idea of what I like to put in, so it makes it easier for the rest of the week. First thing I like to pack is my suit bag. This will have all my kit in it. It will have spare suit, spare cap, goggles, everything I need to take to marshalling just in case something happens to my equipment behind the blocks. I find that bringing all the spare stuff just gives me peace of mind so that if something does go wrong, which fingers crossed it doesn't, I know that I'm prepared no matter what. First thing that's going in the bag is this little contraption here. So this is actually a suit skirt, and it's made of this silky kind of material, and it helps you put on your racing suits easier because they are incredibly tight. Next up, I have my racing suit that I'll be racing in the morning. This is that new one that I tried on in my previous video. I also like to pack a spare one because I have definitely ripped my suit whilst putting it on to race more times than I care to admit. I remember one time when I was a junior swimmer, I was swimming in one of my first international finals ever, and I got my suit up and I was rushing to the final. I was running behind time and I ripped all down the middle in the paneling, and I had to take off my suit and start all over again. I've always brought a spare suit with me for moments like that because I feel like they happen more often than you would think they do. So that's on this side here. Other side is going to be caps and goggles. I have a new race cap here, but it looks the exact same as my old one, so I don't think I'm going to put this as a spare in this bag, just so I can tell them apart. I've got my racing cap, racing goggles, and then similar to the suit, I've got a spare cap and spare pair of goggles. Fun fact, actually at Nationals about a month ago, I ripped 2 of my racing caps before I raced, and I had to bring spares with me, so thank goodness that I did, or else I would have had to swim without a cap on. I also packed this little thing in there. This is actually a bottle of anti-fog. I refuse to swim without it, so I always put it in there just in case I want to top up my goggles before I race. Now, in this little bag, I also take this to marshalling. I put other spare things. I do have a spare hair tie. I might still put it in case someone else needs it, but I obviously don't need a hair tie anymore. I'll put in a bottle of anti-fog, some lip balm. This is where I'll also keep my energy gel for the morning. Before I race, I have a non-caffeinated energy gel. Pretty much it's just a source of carbohydrates for before you race. You can use other sources like rice cakes or lollies or Powerade or whatnot, but I just find gel's the easiest. What I also do is put in spare Panadol and Nurofen in case I get a headache or something on race day. I just like to have those with me in my bag. This is also where I pack my caffeine source. So here I've got 3 different sources. I've got Notice tablets, which are 100 milligrams, and they take a longer time to peak. And then I've also got 2 Revies, which are caffeine strips. You let them dissolve on your tongue and they peak in about 15 to 20 minutes. And all different strengths, so I can pick and choose what I want on the day. So that's what goes in this little bag, and this just goes in the other side of this bag. Another 2 things that I pack in my race bag is Vicks. I have the little inhaler thing here and also the chest rub. I like to put this on my chest because obviously it opens up your airways, and I feel like it keeps my chest nice and warm before racing. I don't know if it actually does anything, but it's just become a bit of a habit. Now that that bag is all packed, I'm going to be moving on to my activation equipment. I put these in first because they kind of take up the most room, and it's kind of like a game of Tetris in my bag. So I just put in my roller, and then in this bag here, I've got things like a trigger ball, exercise band, more bands, just everything I would need for dryland activation before I swim. Those 2 are in, so in goes my suit bag. This is a little bit extra, but in my front pocket here, I will bring with my other 2 spare caps, a spare training cap for if mine snaps, and a spare racing cap for if mine breaks once again. I'm also going to bring this little device here, which is actually underwater headphones, so that if I feel like my mind is going a bit too quickly, I can use them for when I swim down. Definitely not for warm up, but for swim down, I would consider using them. Next up is a water bottle. I will always bring one of these with me to competition. I'm not going to pack this in yet because this one stays by my bedside table. But you lose a lot of water when you're swimming, even though you don't feel like you're getting really hot because obviously you're swimming in a cooled pool. But yeah, you can get really dehydrated really easily, so it's important to bring lots of water with you. Next thing I'm packing is a pair of training togs. I never warm up or warm down in my race suits because they are compressive and they're also not chlorine resistant, so they won't last as long if you're warming up and warming down in them. So I always warm up in my training togs. It's also important to bring food with you when you race. I'm only doing one race tomorrow, so I'm just bringing one muesli bar. I would bring something more protein rich if I had multiple races in the morning, but I'm just doing one, so this should do. I'm also going to pack a towel, but I'm going to be packing that in the morning once it is dry, because I just checked and it's still wet. I would say that's pretty much my bag packed, so what I'm going to do now is figure out what clothes I'm going to be wearing in the morning. This is actually pretty interesting because it is quite cold here in Adelaide and I like to be very warm before I race. As like an underlayer, or what I will be wearing around pool deck to stretch and activate, I'll be wearing a pair of leggings and I will be wearing a light long sleeve top. I'm going to wear this on top of my leggings and I will also be wearing these to marshalling to stay warm. Next up is something very cool, and this is actually a heated vest. So I've got a battery pack here and there is a pocket inside the vest with a little cable. And what you do is you plug it in and you can turn it on here. And when that happens, there are 3 different heat settings: hot, medium, and a little bit colder. And it heats through the back and the front of the vest here. I like to wear it under my jumpers to keep my chest warm and my body temperature up. And then on top of that, I will be wearing this big blue puffer jacket. This is one of my favourite things that I own, and yeah, very handy. I always wear it to my swim meets. In terms of shoes, I will be going with my Ugg boots. These are like my new favourite shoes to wear, and I will be wearing them with socks. One last thing to pack is actually a pair of shorts, because I like to get physio or a massage after I race, and you can't really get that done when you're in leggings, so I'll bring a pair of shorts with me as well. If you are a stress head before you race, my tip would be to pack your bag the night before you race and actually write down a physical list of everything you need. I feel like I've done it so many times that I just automatically do the process. It just helps me sleep a little bit better knowing that if I wake up in the morning and my alarm doesn't go off or something happens, I can run out the door if need be, and I also know that I won't be forgetting anything and I won't have to worry about it tomorrow. Anyways, the only things that I will need to pack in the morning now is my towel. So that about wraps up this video. There's probably about an hour and a half until I'm going to go to sleep. So I might watch some of The Office and then read my book before bed. Let me know if there's anything that you would pack that I haven't. Also let me know if there was anything that surprised you, because I feel like everyone does this routine slightly differently, and so I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Anyways, I will see you after I'm done racing, and I will be giving you a race recap probably, because I think this is going to be an interesting week. So thanks for tuning in, and yeah, if you like it, then please feel free to join along for all the other videos that I post. Anyways, thanks for watching.